What's up?
All
What's
right,
up?
what is going on, world? How we doing today?
Good. How's everyone?
Oh man, another day, another great day.
Awesome, good to see you guys' faces. Miss you guys. Obviously, we haven't seen each other face to face in a while, but this is the best we have right now. It's always a pleasure. So today, episode 8 on Elevate the World, we're going to be going over our personal core values, kind of define them a little bit, and then talk about authenticity. What's it mean to be authentic? All right. But like we start off every episode, we're going to start off with Ange's quote of the day. What do you got for us today, Ange?
Okay, so my quote is from Elvis Presley, right?
Oh,
Like
King.
the king. Okay, values are like fingerprints. No bodies are the same, but you leave them all over everything you do.
I like it. I like it. No, that ties in perfectly what we have going on today too with core values. Everyone's going to have their own. Between all three of us, we might have some that are similar, but even the ones that we made that are alike, we're probably going to have like different definitions of them and maybe where they came from between us as well. So I really like that quote. That's a good one. Also, my parents huge Elvis fans. My mom used to always watch the shows. Always watch the shows. My dad used to always listen to his music. My mom's always like just humming like Elvis Presley songs. It's great.
Oh, I love that. I was like,
Right.
My family was like Bee Gees and Beach Boys, big time. Like my mom would clean the house to Bee Gees. If you're a Bee Gees fan, and I tell you, you open up the album and see all their faces. If you're a kid of the 80s, you're going to be like, yes, if you're watching this and you hear this. So you used to open up the album and it was all the Bee Gees and their faces was the whole picture inside.
That's
and
great.
It was like this long. It was like it was so long, and we used to lay it out and just love it. And that was a record. Yes, we listened to records.
My mom had a record player. I think we just got rid of it maybe like a year or two ago. She got rid of it, but she has all her records. She got rid of the record player, but she has all her records. And I was like kind of going through some of them. I was like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my mom was a big rock girl, but she like my dad listened to the oldies. He was big in the Beatles and stuff like that, like the Doors.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
he had three tapes in his truck, and it was the Beatles, the Doors, and Blondie. And I just remember always having to listen to those three. Yeah.
Cool. And when I was really little, guys, we used to have an unfinished basement, and we used to roller skate in the basement. And my dad and mom had the old 8-track player that still worked. And we used to put the 8 tracks and listen to them while we were roller skating in the basement, and it worked.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah. Yep. And now I need nothing. Amazon Music is my best friend. Everything's right there. I have a million playlists, and I freaking love it. So I'm happy with Amazon Music.
Technology.
Okay. Yeah, I'm an Apple Music guy, but
Spotify.
Yeah. Spotify.
We've actually recently been getting into one of the new trainers at F45, Emily. She gave us her account for Fit Radio, which has been
cool.
Bro,
really cool.
Up the frequency.
All right, cool. Because I played a couple that were like really bad, and I was like, I'm so sorry, guys. But then I've been finding some really good ones to then like preview them now. So
Scotty gets his feelings hurt really bad if you tell him you don't. Oh my God, I'll never forget that class. And
it happened the other day. I was about to lose. I was about to walk out of the room. I'm like, y'all have crap taste in music. I just want to leave.
Fighting words.
Listen to yourselves breathe then.
Right? Exactly. Let me see you put a playlist on.
Scott, that's like fighting words to Scotty. If you're like, dude, your music is not good. He's like, what? I was like, oh my gosh, you guys just hurt his feelings. Like, just listen to the music.
Morgan was the worst. Like, this sucks. I'm like, you suck, Morgan.
Morgan. That's because you didn't play her Rob Zombie.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably right.
All right, we're getting off track. Scotty, bring us back.
Right.
Bring us back.
Let's get it. All right. So, core values. Basically, kind of like what defines you. What makes you who you are. And this could be in any sense, whether it's what you do at work, how you train, your way around the house, how you teach your kids to grow up, anything like that.
How many can we have? I got 3, but I got plenty more, man.
So I was going to go with 3, but like, I feel like you can't put a limit on core values. Like, it's one of those things, like you could have like maybe your 3 most important or something like that. I have 4 written down. And then I also wanted to talk about what really got me thinking about core values was when I started getting involved with First Form, and they have 12 core values that they have. I remember when I went to their facility in St. Louis, Missouri, and their one room where they always have their big team meetings, which they keep growing as a team. Can barely fit people in there, but like of the whole ceiling of the room, they have all their core values written out in like big bold print, just so you're constantly reminded of it. Like some of their shirts have it written. They're everywhere. So it's something that always as a reminder, which I think would be very important if people were making their power list or doing stuff like that in the morning, is write down your core values every day. So you have something to remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing and like why you're so passionate about what you're doing as well. So I kind of want to just kind of shoot from the hip today. With this one, I kind of almost want to like go over, we could each talk about like maybe one core value and we can like all touch base on it. It might not be yours, but maybe like if you have something to input on it, I would love to hear it. All right. So my first core value is something that's always stuck with me since playing sports, and it's about being disciplined. And that's, I think I get from my dad. And I always try to preach it in my classes, is being disciplined. It's about doing the things that you don't want to do and just getting it done. Like, you might not feel like you want to go for that walk outside. You might not feel like you want to stay in your macros or go to sleep early, but like, you just got to do it. If you want to be successful, you want to be better, you got to be disciplined, got to do the things that you don't want to do. So that basically really goes all the way back to my dad coaching us in soccer. He used to run us. I mean, run. We probably did more running than we actually did playing soccer as kids. And this was like middle school. Like
that conditioning, though.
Like 6th, 7th grade. This was middle school. And I think I talked about this on an earlier podcast. Like, we were the most conditioned team, like in our like town. Like we would always be down one man because my dad made the other ones quit because they didn't want to run so much. They were literally tired of running, but we'd always be down a player or two, and then we'd still win games because we'd be fresh the whole game. It was great. And my dad was like, you're like, we don't need to be the best soccer players. Like, we were all a bunch of kids that were like maybe 1st, 2nd year playing. My dad didn't ever play soccer in his life. So it was like, he didn't know too much about soccer, but he's like, hey, I know we can outlast the other team and we'll win that way. And he was right. Like, we always did pretty
awesome.
Well. We weren't like the best team or anything like that, but like, we would always succeed like 9 out of 10 times because we would outlast the other team, and it was great. And that's right. Where I think I get my,
and that's like, life. That's
life. Yes, right? Be the hardest worker in the room. Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
Yeah, Dad.
So, right. Thanks, Dad.
Awesome.
So Prince, what can you give me an example of a time maybe where you first like found out like maybe discipline was like a big role, or if it doesn't, that's fine, but like a big role in your life?
Man. I want to say, dude, every day, man. Every day, like, I feel like when I'm right now, I'm doing this thing where I'm being very conscious of what I do in the moment. So I enjoy the moment, but I'm also analyzing, you know what I mean? But I say every day, man. But one exact moment was, I mean, honestly, when I started my overall like fitness journey, like, I know I had a goal, and like, I knew it took X amount of work. I knew it took, you know, like really, really analyzing what I put into my body. And, you know, a lot of times, like, it was just easier to not work out because either tired, or it was easier to not, you know, take the time to really prepare my food because I was tired to go ahead and just have something quick. So that, I would say that's a big moment. And that's something now I've mastered. And I think that's like, right then and there at that moment was when I realized how important discipline was, because I was like, you know what, like, for someone or for myself, even when I wasn't disciplined, this was hard to do, but because I'm disciplined, like, now it's easy, you know what I mean? And then like, you start to like kind of analyze and look at, okay, what else can I apply this to? Like, where else can I be disciplined at? And then where else can I pretty much like, get that conditioning for life, and what I mean, like make it easier. It's hard now, but let's make it easy, or at least do our best to, and then go on to the next goal.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. Because like I feel like being disciplined just like helps you just overcome so many obstacles. You know what I mean? Like doesn't matter what it can pertain in life. Like you can apply it to almost anything: your work, home life, your relationship, anything like that.
I think it's a vital one.
Yeah. Oh, hello.
Oh, hey, cutie.
You say hi.
Hi.
Okay, you got a good
Little special guest today.
Okay. All right, real quick. I know she knows who one of you are. Who's that over there?
Scotty.
All right.
Hi.
That's Angie. Okay, see you later, big girl.
Hi.
Okay.
Oh,
See what I mean?
See what I mean?
oh,
Okay.
gosh.
See you later, big girl. All right.
All right, Ange, you have an example or a story you can go a little bit into about being disciplined? I know you do.
So many. I'll never forget, field hockey season had just ended. I was 15 years old. I get off the bus. My dad's in his pickup truck with it running at the end of the driveway. He's like, get in the car. Field hockey's over for the season. You need to get a job. Okay. So he drove me up a mile up the road and said, there was 4 corners in Jarrettsville. Okay. You have 4 options because you need to be able to walk there. You got the station house where your sister works. You got the gas station. You got Keene Dodge, which is a car dealership, and you got the pharmacy. I said, well, let's go with Keene Dodge. Take me to Keene Dodge. I go in, no driver's license. I meet with the general manager. He's like, okay, I know your dad. I know your family. I'll hire you as a lot girl. So I'm 15 years old. I was a lot girl at the car dealership, Keene Dodge. Ended up staying there for 7 years, right? Guys, I can clean a car like no other, I'm telling you. So discipline started very early for me, okay? Very early. I loved it. I saw the value in discipline, getting a job early. And then in my athletic career, I saw the discipline of winning, growing, being better, getting more skill. And then coming into my bodybuilding career, nothing screams discipline like measuring and tracking a date that you're looking at to get on stage. I can't say in the beginning of my bodybuilding career, like I was the most disciplined. I got by because I feel like I had a lot of other things naturally working for me. But guys, getting on a bikini stage in your 40s is no freaking joke. Like, you cannot leave any stones unturned. So I will tell you now, in my 40s, my level of discipline is off the charts, because in order to reach that goal that I want to reach and bring that package that I want to bring, you have to bring that A+ discipline. And that's where I am right now in my life, where it is discipline daily is the number one thing on my mind right now because of where I am in my training, for sure.
Oh yeah. No, I love that. I was definitely going to say, with your training that you have going on for your show coming up, and I was definitely thinking about like 75 hard as well, like being disciplined. I was just listening to a podcast with Annie Frizella, and he was just talking briefly about how 75 hard is to make yourself disciplined. It's doing the things you don't want to do. It's getting yourself outside when you don't want to be outside. It's getting yourself to read those 10 pages, even though you might not want to read that day. Like eating healthy, even though you kind of just want to binge eat, but it's going to keep you on track because of routine. That's what it is. Being disciplined, keeping yourself on a routine. That's how you're going to become great. That's how you're going to get better day in, day out.
No doubt.
So discipline, definitely one of the core values. I know that's probably for all 3 of us. Might not be your top one, but I want to go with Prince for the next core value. What would be your next? What is your top core value on your list?
My top core value? Man, I say staying true to self. I feel like not only is it good for you, but if you stay true to you, it makes you much more authentic with others. And I feel like that's what people deserve, the real you. So I feel like that provokes that authenticity when you stay true to you. So I say staying true to self. So keeping it real, 100%, however you want to put it or hashtag it, but staying true to self, man. I think that at the end of the day, you know, when you lay down at night, you know, like it's just you and you. And I feel like, you know, you got to be able to accept that. And that's something that I spent a lot of time on as well. Just being like, you know what, like, man, you know, there was a time in life when I wasn't happy with what I was laying down with, you know what I mean? So I feel like one of the things or one of the core values that I had to master was staying true to self.
No, I really like that because I remember, honestly, like staying true to yourself, like that's probably a recent thing for me. Like that's why like the authenticity and like all that kind of hit when I recently been listening about it, because I feel like I've been always trying to uh, make everyone else kind of feel comfortable or try to tend to other people's needs and kind of like worry about how maybe people might think of me in a way. And I feel like that's kind of like growing up with my peers and stuff like that. I just kind of always felt like pressure in a way when in reality I knew like it wasn't make or break, but like I don't know, there was just like you're in high school, you just always feel like you're kind of like being judged or something like that. So I felt like that kind of like lingered for a while, like into college, and then with like my social life in LA and stuff like that, I just like felt like I was constantly being judged. And I think the
Bro,
more time
especially LA.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, LA is like the perfect way to really find that out. But like being in a relationship with Megan and like having our alone time and stuff like that, and like her like liking who I am. Like I don't have to be fake. I don't have to be like that to anyone. And then the more I express myself who I really am, I see that people truly like me for that.
Yeah,
And
man,
then
you tight, bro.
I didn't have to go around and kind of just like bullshit this or have to wear that or like say these kind of things. So that definitely that hits home for me big time.
Yeah.
Thanks, baby. Okay, you gotta go with mommy.
Yeah. For me, being true to yourself is definitely one of my core values. And as a parent, I preach this to Reese on the daily. In high school, you know, I believe most have the need to fit in. We're, you know, we're growing, we're trying to figure out who we are. But guys, like, I can't tell you who instilled this in me, but in high school and in college, I just wanted to be myself. Someone along the line, and I was trying to think who it was, and I can't put my finger on it, but I was myself. Like I didn't do drugs. I didn't go to those parties. My friends knew that about me in high school and most accepted it. I was kind of known as the girl who liked to have fun but didn't give into compromising who I was. I
And I bet
listened
that made
to
you
all
cool.
do what now?
I bet that made you cool too. It's probably one of the things that
Well,
made
you know, it didn't leave any question. Like people that knew me knew what you were getting. You know, I wanted to go and work out. I wanted to run before practice. You know, I didn't want to drink. I didn't want to do drugs. I wanted to listen to the music that I liked. I wanted to wear the clothes I wanted to wear because somewhere along the line, I don't know who it was, instilled in me that it's about me being me, and it was okay to express weird, crazy, energetic, whatever it is that I wanted to project. Like it was okay. So when I see Reese in middle school, I make sure daily, do you, girl? What fashion do you like? What music do you want to listen to? What sports do you want to play? Like, go on, have fun, and be yourself, because it's so important, and it will just make for the best freaking life when you truly have that joy of yourself, like who you are. Who you are.
Who you are. No,
wrote
that's
that.
great. It's a really good one to print. I like that.
Thanks,
Be true to
man.
yourself, discipline. We're making a nice little list here between the both, all three of us. Ange, what you got on your list? The top.
Okay, so I have so many, and I just want to tell everybody that digging into this work that we do for these podcasts is so rewarding. And again, I encourage everyone to take our topics and research and dive into that deep work. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. This deep work is necessary and it's hard, but it's so intriguing. Like core values, the deep rooted systems of belief that guide a person's decisions. Like, okay, now I had to like digest that a little bit. And I'm like, okay, well, what am I about? But I have a lot. I made a list of like 10, but I'm going to go with two things that are really standing out to me. With my husband for 27 years, I have a 12-year-old child, business, fitness, athlete. What are two things being where I am in my life that I'm really trying to embrace, that I've always embraced, but are really coming to, like, words that are coming to me are happiness and peace. And, creating that happiness, like, being married for a long time, still creating that happiness in your relationship, being a parent of a middle schooler, still maintaining that peace, that peace of helping that child make decisions and storing core values in them. Like, so happiness and peace, gosh, 20 years ago, you would never find me really like sitting on the couch, family watching movies, like really embracing that calmness and happiness and peace. But guys, it's where I am right now. And I'm really, really embracing it. So those are two that really popped up for me.
Happiness and peace. I love that.
I like that as well, because I always think about having fun. So I think when you're having fun, you're happy. That's what I kind of correlate that with, because that's like one of my core values is have fun, happy, peace. So having fun, being your happy place. For me, happy place is being at the gym, being kind of, I could be with a group. It really depends on my mood that day, but maybe be in that group setting or maybe being by myself with headphones in. Honestly, every time I get on the phone with you guys, like I had a smile on my face. I'm enjoying it. Like putting yourself around people that make you happy, like kind of getting rid of that toxicity in your life, kind of like pushing the negative out, like removing yourself from situations that could possibly put you in a bad situation. And then what you do is you learn from that. And then it's kind of like trial and error. What's going to make you happy? What doesn't? So I think that's a really good one. Talking about instilling like core values in your children, like for some reason I was thinking about that today. I might be going really off topic here, but like that's also got to be tough, because like sometimes like I was thinking, I'm not going to really explain what I was thinking overall because I don't want to get into that subject, but like sometimes like in a negative aspect, when you see like certain people and like they're maybe raising their children like in the, like kind of like a negative lighting as well, but like how does you think one, like a child or someone like maybe might find happiness, like if they've only seen like maybe like negativity, you know what I mean? Like that's got to be really hard as a parent to kind of like I don't want to say you're like I'm not saying you're brainwashing your children, like you're obviously teaching them your core values, but you're also like, it's got to be like really tough for like maybe some kids to be like, I don't want to do maybe what you do, or like I want to actually go this direction rather than that direction. Like that's got to be really tough.
Yeah, I think I say real quick, I think that like in that sense, I think it's kind of like a line in a sense of like, I think there's like, I don't want to say certain rules of life, but certain core values where like, I feel like they could set like a foundation in a sense of like, I think a core value of like being disciplined, like, or even a core value of being honest, be honest, stuff like that. And then I think when you look at that line, of course, they're going to kind of, if hopefully it makes sense, they take and branch off from those core values, other healthy core values of their own that they're like, this is for me. But, like, I always look at it, hey man, if you don't have to do wrong to anyone else to do right by yourself. And I think, core values around that, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Prince, 100% that it's instilling the base of the core values: kindness, growth, happiness, open-mindedness, and letting your children know by example. Let's bring that up real quick. Parents, if you don't think that your actions are teaching your children, then I don't want to say you're crazy, but you're crazy, because they're watching everything you do, from business to phone to interactions to what you say about what's going on in the world, everything. Like, you truly, Prince, yes, you're not brainwashing Scotty, but Prince, like, you're shaping these people, you're shaping these humans. So give them the core values and then let them find their path on how they're going to instill the core values. But I do think it's important that parents do talk about core values with their children and talk about what they are, like, talk about what they are and let them find their way. Actions speak louder than words 100%.
All day.
So parents out there, look at how you live your life, because this is what you're instilling into your children. And I can say that because I am a parent, so I have every right to talk on that subject. That's the truth.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What you instill into your children is what you pretty much instill into the world, because like the world's made up of people. Eventually, like, we got to go somewhere, and then someone else, comes onto it. And that's where, you kind of just, you make that daily deposit into your child, into the world.
Absolutely. 100%. And I can share so many stories of situations that have happened where, as a parent, you step back, assess the situation, because no children are complete angels. Like, every child's going to go through something. What happened? How can we deal with this? What did you learn from it? And teaching core values through situations that happen when your child comes in from school and tells you this, or out on the playground. Like, it's just so important, because really, just like the definition says, they form a personal, individual foundation that influence a particular person's behavior. Boom. Right.
Boom. Mic drop.
Spicy.
No, it's exactly like being a good person. It's like, just be good to other people. Don't cut corners. Like, don't gossip. Don't talk shit to other people. Like that's what it means to be a good person. Which is great. I'm glad that question came up and I asked you, and then it kind of stemmed off into that, because my next core value is lead by example. I think that's very important. Even, like, obviously as a parent, number one example is lead by example. For this one, like you said, what you instill in your children instills in the world. But also, like, if you want to take it like into your job or into just like your life, like, I've noticed so much that I've been like posting certain things. What was it? I posted something from Facebook from like 10 years ago. It was like a status I had, and it was like, I wish I could just accomplish my goals. It was just something like that. And that was like 10 years ago when I was like still in college, I think. And then a couple of comments were like, well, yeah, you got to work hard at it. You got to do this. I like hope people say that. And like looking back at it now, it's like, yeah, like now I know this. Like, it took me it took me a little bit of time to realize, yeah, when you put the work in, your goals will be accomplished like that. And I posted that. And then like the things I've been like putting out on social media and stuff here and there, like, it's really been helping people. And someone commented, was like, hey, I really needed to see this today. And I was like, hey, like, if you ever want to talk about it, like, let me know. Like, and that stuff hits me the most, because I feel like I'm also showing like my vulnerable side. I'm also showing that like I was there at one point. You know what I mean? So it's like putting yourself out there and then showing people that you need to do certain things, or you have to go about it. Like, people are watching you when you don't even realize it. Like, that was just a post, just be like, oh, look how like silly I was. But like, someone's in that situation right now, and they're seeing that, and that's going to help them after seeing that, to see that I have come so far from that. So it's like, and then whether you're at work, like the more you're always doing the right thing, the more people will see that, and then that'll be contagious, and then they'll do the right thing. And it's just kind of like an ongoing thing, whether it's your children, whether it's your members, your clients, like your family, like they'll just constantly see you do the right thing. Like lead by example. You see something on the ground, pick it up, throw it in the trash, like throw it in the recycling. Like don't just walk past things. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like doing the right thing, always doing it, and people will follow in your footsteps. So that's like a big, that was my second one. So I'm glad we kind of, it was a good little segue.
No, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. I would say, man, lead by example, dude. Literally, I had a moment and experienced this yesterday doing the 75 heart challenge. And I was like, man, now I got to do like the outdoor part. And I was
You're
like,
in Georgia. No, you're in Georgia.
No, man. It's been 50 degrees out here. It's been bad.
What is
Is
it?
it 20? Is it 20?
It was like 28 the other day.
Oh, was it?
Well, no, it's real down here. Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, well, at least when I leave Maryland, it won't be as cold. Nah, I can't wear my shorts outside, man. I can break out into that indoors. But
Guys,
dude,
seriously, the social media world cannot wait for warm weather for you two to be doing all your shirtless outside workouts. I'm just saying.
People are surprised I own pants.
No.
They're like, you own pants?
bro, they thought I was someone else walking into the building. They were like, wait, you got on too much clothes. That's not you.
Okay,
Right.
you two wear, okay. I'm opposite. I have people that will be like, oh my God, you have arms. Oh my gosh. Because I am completely covered up 24/7, like big pants, big shirt. Someone's like, oh my God, you got muscles under there. I'm like, yeah, I do, kind of. But it's so
Yeah,
funny.
well,
They're like, it's
so-
so weird. It's so weird to see your body.
That's great.
Hey, you know what? Everybody's different. But look, yo, check it out though. So my moment of like lead by example was yesterday. I had to go outside and I decided to I was like, you know, man, I need to start getting back into running again. And right now, at the studio I'm at, we are having like a little challenge where it's just a quarter mile, and the members are timing themselves. So like, I was like, you know what, man, like I'm gonna go ahead and like, I want in on that. I'm gonna do like, do a couple quarters, you know what I mean? Like get a full mile in as fast as I can, and like jot that time down and then try to be better than the next time, because like it's a competition with everyone, but I tell everyone like it's still you against you. So that being said, man, like there was moments because I feel like no one was watching me. And I was there, and there were moments where I was like, like I'm just doing this for me. Like I don't have to like push too hard. But I was like, when I send people out here on this run, I tell them to push. I tell them to go hard. Like I'm right there trying to get them to, pretty much really find out who they are, by pushing the limits. And I was like, I got to do that for myself when no one's watching. And then it turns out like later on that, like probably like 15 minutes later, when camp started, one of the members was like, oh yeah, I saw you outside running. And it's crazy because somebody's always watching. So integrity, lead by example. You know what I mean? And being in you live a life that's more intentional and with more purpose. Because it bleeds into how you act every day, putting that cart back. You know what I mean? At work, definitely picking up the trash you still down, and then not littering when you are in someone else's land, type of thing. Just not littering. Period. Like contributions, bro.
Yeah, it all comes down to what you do when no one's watching. Because it's easy, guys, it's so easy to do all the right things when, someone's doing a YouTube vlog and they're doing, oh, I'm going to take you through a day of eating. Or if, someone is watching you work out, or someone is watching you talk to your child, it's so easy to always do the right thing. But really, true leaders do what they're supposed to do when no one's watching. And all the time. That is one of the definitions of a true leader, is walking the walk, just not preaching we need to do X, Y, and Z. Like, are you really doing X, Y, and Z? Because anybody can tell anybody to do anything, right? But are you truly leading by example? Truly. And it can be no matter what your goals are. It may have nothing even to do with fitness. You may have a manager that wants you to do X, Y, and Z, but they're not doing X, Y, and Z. You could have a friend that talks about this or that, but isn't really truly showing the good friendship, behind the scenes, or, when no one's watching. So you can apply to anywhere in your life, but really, like, it takes more energy to think about how to get around something than just to do the right thing. Like the shopping cart scenario is, like you said, the perfect one. I mean, you Google shopping cart, it's called shopping cart complex or something, and it will go into this whole thing about where you are in your life. Like, it totally Dr. Phil's you
Oh,
down to
really?
like what you do when you wake up in the morning.
That's great.
Like,
Coming
it's
from
so
your life.
true. Yes, it's like it's like Jocko telling the kids what happens if you lose your pencil. Okay?
Oh yeah.
So it all just comes down to all of that, because it's so easy to be this perfect person on Instagram or this perfect person on YouTube, but really it's it's work. Like, you just got to do the right thing. And like I said, it actually takes more energy to figure out how to get around doing the right thing. It's too much freaking pressure and too much work. Like,
No.
just do the right thing.
Yeah. And I'm glad you kind of brought up like social media and like being yourself and like being real, because like we'll come back to core values, I promise. But authenticity is such a big thing. And one of the biggest things where it's trouble to find really authentic people is on internet. All right. Finding people who are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing all the time, and not just doing it in their posts or just like when you could see them there. I think that's a huge thing, because you have a lot of people that are out there using either like fake weights, or they're like, get abs like me in just like 10 days and stuff like this, because everyone's trying to find a shortcut or do something like that. And they're like, I did this way, I did that this way. Like, I'll never knock anyone, but like there is a lot of false information out there, especially on Instagram and social media. So if you guys listening to this and like you follow like certain people, like just like make sure you have a little background story and like know where like maybe they truly came from. Maybe personally like DM them if they don't have like a blue check mark or something like that. Like, hopefully they can get back to you. But like, it's really tough to find out that's someone that you're following or have been following for a while have been like telling you all this stuff, and then you just kind of find out they're a fake, or they're just doing it to get followers and just doing it for a paycheck. So really comes down to like what does being authentic actually mean? And the best way I can describe it is just being genuine. Just be genuine, being true to who you believe you really are, being passionate about what you are personally passionate about, not just what someone else thinks about, or what, like, it's tough to, when you have someone like in your ear constantly always like kind of like spitting like their views and having their bias about something, and for you to kind of like, are you going to like agree with them, or are you not going to agree with it? I think this was during a podcast with Andy Frisella. He was like, there's three sides of a story. It was Sal that said it. There's three sides of a story. There's your side, there's the other person's side, and then there's the truth. All right. So it's like, you have to be able to listen. I think that's a real important thing as well, because you want to be able to listen, because if you're not listening to anybody, then how are you learning? You know what I mean? And you need to be able to view every scenario from every side. You can't just be completely biased on one side. You might believe in it that way, but it's also a good fundamental thing to listen to other people's views, and then maybe circle back onto like, all right, cool. Like, they said this, this, and this. I said this and this. Like, has that balance out? Is someone right? Is someone wrong? Or are we both kind of just like up in the air? And it's not hard. It is hard sometimes for some people to be authentic, because they have so much things going on in their lives and social media, and people telling them that they have to do this, people telling them they have to do that, when you're kind of like lost in the middle. So coming back to like a thing like being a kid, like finding out who you truly are, doing the things that you truly want to do. Like all your friends want to go somewhere, you don't really want to go, but you just want to hang out with your friends. It's okay to stay home, do what you actually wanted to do. You could find someone that's going to be like-minded like you as well. So I don't want to go too rich. I know you guys want to talk about it as well. I can talk about being authentic and get real riled up about this. But yeah, let's go, Prince. Calm down a little bit.
Authenticity is a big one, man. Always look at it as being unfiltered, respectfully unfiltered, you know? And I think, like I said, man, like, you know, you don't give up like you don't give up, like, I feel like something that you owe yourself, but you don't give up, you know, the opportunity for someone to truly experience who you are, because there is no other, you know what I mean? So authenticity definitely is like, what symbolizes it is being just respectfully unfiltered. I think as far as like social media goes, like, you know, I think that is the hardest thing for a lot of people, is caring too much about what everyone else thinks. And I feel like there's no happiness in that. And then also, if you got to fake it, I mean, I feel like it exposes itself one way or another. You know, if it's doing something that you don't want to do with someone or whatever, like, you're not going to enjoy it as much. And then they might feel the vibe, you know? So yeah, I think we could go on and on about that, but I'm gonna keep it simple and just say being respectfully unfiltered.
Yeah. All right. I'll touch on the whole social media thing too, because you guys know I'm so passionate about talking about social media that I have to keep this short. There's a podcast, The Mind of George Bryant. He always says relationships beat algorithms. Okay. So that is something with social media that just fires me up, is that I see the positive where relationships can be formed on social media, but do you really know the whole story?
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you really know the whole story? I feel that social media has created, this is my opinion, such a disservice to humans, such a disservice to relationships, to being real, to being who you are, because a lot of people get on social media and they see the perfect body. They see the perfect relationship. They see the perfect children, the perfect house, the picket fence. Everybody has crap to deal with. No one's life is perfect. But at the same time, is it really up to someone to air out all their dirty laundry on social media? You know, like, is that something that they really are required to do if you're an influencer? Are you doing a disservice to people by holding that back? Sure, because if you are an influencer, you have to understand that people are going to you to be influenced, right? Right? So as an influencer, you really do hold so much more than what I think people realize, because you are creating a perfect world and people see that. Jealous, they're less than, they feel this way or this way. And, you know, like, I mean, a lot of people leave social media feeling not so great, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know people that deal with this all the time. But again, it's not that influencer's job to make you happy, but then is it? So we could go back and forth with this. And I know I deal with this with Reese, where she'll go on a YouTube to watch a baking of something, and then she'll try to do it. And they put this perfect baking creation of cupcakes, but they didn't show all the crap it took to get there. She's got all the crap in the kitchen and she's like, why didn't they tell me it was this hard? And then she would get upset and wonder why it didn't turn out that way. So I, as a parent, have to explain to her, sweetie, this is all the stuff they don't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So there was our first lesson. And so she doesn't have any social media, but as a parent, this was the first lesson about, 4 years ago or so, with they make it look so easy. So So absolutely. And I do feel that it's such a different generation. I'm such a different generation. I don't use social media to let people know who I really am. I use it to um, help and help people and put things out there to help people realize that they're more than, you know, what they may think they are. Like we can do anything we want to do. I really want people to get to know me when they talk to me. And I really want to be true to that and be true to myself. And but social media, guys, it's such it rides like this with me. I can't say that because I grew up when, you know, I remember when the first cell phone came out. Social media is like a whole crazy world. I'm a private person. I don't put my relationships out there. I have people who are like, you know, you're married, like you did, and I'm like, you know, and that's a whole nother story. What you get on social media with the messages and stuff, that's a whole nother
Right.
world, you know. And
Right.
one quick thing I want to bring up is that they did a backstage photo shoot or something of fitness. You guys saw it with the fitness model putting the pads in her butt in her spandex to make her have the perfect butt. And then
I
she
didn't see
shot
that.
all those booty videos.
Mm.
So
I didn't
there
see it, but
you
I believe it.
go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'll have to find it. So basically, guys, it's not everything you see isn't true. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors. And a lot of these fitness professionals and a lot of these figure competitors or bikini competitors, a lot of them post pictures from when they did photo shoots after their shows.
Mm-hmm.
Bless the heart, and this is the last thing I got to say, of a competitor. She went MIA, but then was posting pictures. She looked amazing. She came back on and was completely transparent, had gained 30 pounds plus, didn't put it on social media, and totally said, guys, I haven't been on social media in 6 months because I'm dealing with this. This is who I am now. How freeing and liberating was that for her, though? She was hiding behind all these post-show pictures. People thought this was what she was doing, and it wasn't.
Mm.
Like crazy, right?
Yeah.
Breaking
So
chains. Breaking
yeah, so
chains.
don't count out for a second that perfect Instagram page, like everybody has things that they're dealing with in
Yep.
life. It's called life.
100%. And a way to get yourself to be more authentic is to have more real life conversations, face-to-face conversations with people. I put that on
And
my
be you.
post, on my 75 hard. I put that every day on 75 hard. I kind of put like what stood out to me most, either from my reading or from a podcast, or kind of like that day. And that was the big thing that I heard. And it's just like have face-to-face conversations, because that's where you're going to find the realness. Look a person in their eye, like look people in the eye, like that is going to show you like how they really feel. Like that's where like they'll feel more comfortable with you, instead of just we've come so far from with social media where it's like you post something, people, if they want to interact, they have to comment, to just like pressing a heart button, to like putting an emoji. Like there's like so less interaction now that people can like literally just scroll past it, and then they'll count as a view, and then you can just scroll past it. Like we've come so far. And I'm not bashing it completely, because I think it's a great way to connect people and find good information. But
Right.
there's some, I don't want to say bad people, but evil people. Like they're just kind of using it the wrong way. They might not realize they're doing this service to people, but it's having a lot of effect on people. People are feeling really ashamed about themselves, feel like they can't accomplish anything. They can't accomplish like what this person has, even though they don't have all of that. So
The studies on mental health and social media are frightening, especially for young girls. You know, especially for young girls, they do studies on mental health, and it's scary. And you know, that's why as a parent, my 12-year-old has no TikTok, no Instagram, nothing. And I feel so strongly about that, and will continue to feel strongly about that, because the studies are frightening. So I feel very strong about core values, happiness, peace, open-mindedness, kindness, enthusiasm, life, positivity, good humor. And to me, as a young 12-year-old girl, you're getting very limited of those things on social media.
Yeah,
Agree.
100%. Prince, what are a couple of your other top core values to kind of finish it off the list?
Man, I would say family first is always a big thing for me, of course, man. Family first, no matter who your family is, whether it's just your friends who are been solid, that's family. I would say always aiming to inspire. I think that's a big thing, like with influencers and all of that. I feel like, for me, when I think about myself in that image, I always think about like truly, truly inspiring, like with what I am. I don't want any of it to not be me. But always aiming to inspire, being humble yet confident. So where you don't see yourself as superior nor inferior to anyone else. But right there, and in a sense of like we can all thrive and be great, like in our own way, because that's how it should be. And I know I got one more. I think you said it, but it's just always have real interactions with people, like daily. You know what I mean? Like, I think growing up in LA, I always thought like, okay, like you only want to have like for a while it was like you only need to have like a real conversation to try to impress this person or really connect with this person because of who they are and this and that. But I mean, truly seeing the value in all people, like every interaction counts,
No, 100%. I agree with all of those. And to kind of add on, like, I think a big one is being selfless, like helping others, constantly being able to not always have a focus on you. Like you always got to think about yourself first from like a health standpoint, but being selfless, like basically giving more than you receive, just constant, like the more you give, the more you'll actually receive, because the more you'll actually be spreading that positivity, that happiness out, and then it will find its way back to you eventually.
I think a lot of people who are selfless, I feel like they're already very grateful. So they feel like there's an abundance to go around anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. I agree with all those, because you guys have great lists as well.
You too,
And then
man.
just a couple other ones that like I kind of look back at first forms again, and I agree with all of them. It's like believe, be enthusiastic, always learning. I think always learning is a big one, because if you're not learning, then like you're not going to know everything. It's literally impossible that you're going to know everything. And if you do, good for you, but you should humble yourself, because
let me know.
chill up.
Yeah, let me
exactly.
know.
But like especially in the fitness industry, like they're always coming out with new studies, new this, new that.
Oh my
like
gosh.
you're always
All the
learning
time.
something, and then there's always another field you can learn in something else. You know what I mean? Like you go out with a group of friends and you're playing a board game or something. Like it's fun. Like you can just learn like what someone does like for their job. You learn how they help the world, like what they do to support their family. Like it's always fun to learn.
Yeah, man, always evolving.
Because
Exactly.
you're either growing or you're declining. There's no static, for real.
Exactly.
Yeah. I want to throw self-respect in there real quick.
Oh yeah.
That's a big one. That's a big one for me. A big one. Having self-respect, and having the ability to believe that you can create the life you want. That you can actively say, I'm going to go do this right now because it's what I want. And not forgetting that passion to create your life, having that self-respect that you deserve to have a great life, to build a great life, to create the life you want. Everyone deserves it. Everyone. So having that self-respect is important.
Yeah. No, I think this episode, it was good. I feel like I said, like when we talked about it originally, and I kind of came back with like core values. I thought this was really going to be good, because I feel like we were each of us were going to kind of pull some things out that we might have not even like talked about in a while, or like spoke about. So I feel like this was very like a lot of self growth today for me as well. was able to kind of like step back and kind of like see where I am and see actually where I've grown since I started fitness and since I was a kid and everything like that. So this has been a
And
good
I think
episode, guys.
too, that core values are important to us three. So it's easy for us to talk about them because they're so important to us. But I also just want to say, not just because you guys are my friends, but for the record is all of your core values that you mentioned, you guys are on target for that. That is what I get from you when I talk to you, when we meet, when we coach, when I met you. You guys are right on target with just the energy from you really does state your core values. You too. Just want to tell you that.
Thanks, Ange.
You as well, Ange. You as well. 100%.
Yeah, you for sure. Leading by example.
Leading by example, 100%. We learned a lot coaching with you.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. So I know we talked about this a little bit when we got off the last episode. Let's talk about some personal growth. What we've been doing for personal growth. Obviously, I know for Printe and I, we not have to, but like we're supposed to be reading at least 10 pages a day of some kind of nonfiction book. I've been doing a lot of personal growth ones. I know Ange does reading on the reg. So, and I've really been enjoying the reading with 75 Hard. I've actually been reading more than 10 pages at a time, which has been great, and been doing it before I go to sleep. And I've been getting much higher recoveries on my WHOOP. So that's also a big plus. So definitely recommend going and get yourself a couple books to kind of educate yourself with. But I'll start off. I am reading, basically I got this from Ange and Jocko Willink's Extreme Ownership. More than halfway through, and it is a great read so far. Basically talking about his experiences as a Navy SEAL in the war of Iraq, and that's how every chapter begins. It kind of shows, it does like tells a story, and then in that story he uses one of his examples of ownership and being a leader. He shows the principle of it, and then he shows how he applies that to real life businesses that he helps with people in every day now that he's not in the military anymore. So it's really good the way it's just a really good read. I heard the audio is really good for it. Kind of listening to him really gets you hyped up. Actually just heard his voice for the first time on a podcast. So
yes,
I kind of regret I can't listen to a podcast for my reading because I would love to hear him talk about these stories, but it's definitely a good read, and I feel like I've learned so much already. So Extreme Ownership.
Discipline is freedom. Discipline is freedom, Scotty.
100%.
Love it. What you reading, Prince?
Oh man, so I'm switching it up a little bit. I've been doing a lot of self-development books and stuff like that over the years, and now I've been looking at some things to pretty much make myself a little bit better in business. So one book that I have, and I keep it in the car with me, is just The Power of Influence. All right, it's a good book. I mean, there's so many different versions of the book, but it gets really deep on the psychology of people overall. And I like that just because, like, I mean, you know, a huge part of, you know, what we do, I mean, sales is always involved in it, but I feel like knowing the psychology of people helps increase your emotional intelligence, you know, will help you interact with people even better. So, yeah.
Don't read and drive, though. Just saying.
No.
I have never thought about doing that. That's gotta
I've seen it happen. I swear.
Can I talk to someone
down the street?
I need to talk to someone who's thought about doing that. I'm intrigued.
Multitasking at its finest.
He's thought about doing that. He's the one.
No, 100% no.
All right, elevator music.
Got,
elevator music. You guys sing while I go grab my books because I forgot to grab them.
Oh, you're gonna bring out
for the grab them?
I know. Oh man, I thought we were gonna talk about one book. She's got a lot.
What?
I was expecting that though.
I was saying I got my whole stack right here.
My stack's upstairs. Man, you know what I've been. Yeah, you know what I've been working on, man, this year. Just throwing it out there until Angie gets back. Oh, never mind, she's back. But character analysis, accountability, she's back. Never mind.
Are you sure? Okay.
No, go for it.
All right. So this was a gift, a year of positive thinking, and every day for the whole year, it has something to read.
I see you've been posting that. I was wondering what that was.
Thank you, Scotty. Yes, I have been. Now, this is the book I'm reading my 10 pages because 75 hard, 10 pages has stuck with me, even though I completed it back in October. Okay, Deep Work by Cal Newport. So it talks about rules for focused success in a distracted world. I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. It has nothing to do with fitness and everything to do with ways to focus, whether it's, I apply it to planning my clients' workouts. I apply it to business ideas, and it is a really good book. It would not be one I would look at the cover or be like, okay. But I have a list of 100 books to read, and this was the first one, and I'm loving it.
Okay, Deep
Awesome.
Work.
Deep Work.
Put that on my-
Yeah, I definitely can use that because I have definitely trouble like focusing sometimes when like crap, like what do I need to do? Like I try to turn my phone off, all that stuff, but
All right, so the chapter I started this morning, well, per our conversation, quit social media.
boom.
Oh,
Big.
That's intense.
intense.
That's big. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of times I do want to just like get off because like more so from the like politics side, because like just everyone just sucks. And I just like I can't get down a rabbit hole kind of like reading things. So I'm like I catch myself I'm like, stop, like you don't need to do this. So just like kind of like get rid of it, like put my phone away. So I've been doing good at that.
Right.
I feel like if I got rid of it, it'd be a lot better.
Right. But I do see the value because you can filter. Like I love to see
Mhm.
your content, guys. I
Yeah.
love to see, you know, I have certain people, like you guys know, I'm obsessed with the Food Babe. I'm obsessed with the Liver King. Obsessed with you guys.
Liver King.
Andy Frisella. What? Do you know who the Liver King is?
We were just talking
No.
about them in our group chat for 75 hard.
See, I haven't checked in on the chat yet.
You're not supposed to mute it, Prente.
I didn't mute it. It's not muted.
All
right,
but
I'm
I
just
got
saying,
a high
I'm just
volume
saying.
of just
Like
communications coming through my device, man.
he's
I
doing
sort out
deep
some
work,
time to type
Scotty.
in all of
He's
that.
doing deep work. He's deleting group chats.
Doing deep work, man.
No, it's great. That's definitely a book I'm going to add to my list. I have a nice little collection right here that I would like to make a dent in before the end of 75 hard. So
Very good.
I'm almost one down. So we're getting there.
Yeah, you're doing good,
All right.
bro.
So that we got books out of the way. What are we working out to this week? All right. I'll start us off. This is a throwback. I didn't hear about this song until I was listening on a Miami Dolphins Instagram post actually, and it was like playing like in the background of one of their practices. And I was like, "What is that? What is that?" So I actually had some trouble finding it. I went through the comments and found it, but it's called "Joy and Pain" by Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock.
Oh man, that's old school. I knew Andrew.
That's old school, right? Old school. And I was like, "Yo,
That's my jam." What?
This was playing at one of their practices, and a couple of players were kind of just like dancing and jamming. I'm like, yes, like I can get down with this. So I've added this actually. I was looking at my Spotify. I could see when I added stuff, and I added this back in July 2019. And I could rock out to this all the time. It kind of puts me in a good mood and everything. I just get happy,
crazy, man. I can relate, dude, to a song. It's always good when you stumble upon old downloaded music, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I always play shuffle. I have over like 1,000, maybe 3,000 songs saved on my Spotify, and I just always play shuffle.
You got to share those playlists, man. Like,
There's not even a playlist. It's just literally, it's just 3,000 songs. I'll start popping some more in for you guys.
Trust me, man. Share some, man. Like you can create a link and then just share it. Like, because I think that'd be good. We need to create and elevate the world playlist. You know what I mean? And then we could create it on. We'll talk about that later. And then we might unleash that to y'all. All right. So I said I can relate, man, because the song that I worked out to this week that's been really good. I stumbled upon it back in July of 2019 as well, when I first moved up to Seattle. And I recommend everyone listen to the clean version unless you want to hear the other style. It's Lil Wayne, Open Safe.
Love me
a
some Lil Wayne.
fan. One of the
Love me
top
some Lil Wayne.
lyricists of all time, Lil Wayne.
Yeah,
My
Lil
opinion.
Wayne's good, man.
Yep.
All right, Ange, what you rocking out to?
Okay. First off, steady state cardio being introduced for my training. Haven't done steady state cardio for ever, but it's necessary right now. Okay. So guys, real quick, there is a machine that if the stepper and the elliptical had a baby, I did that today. And I was so amazed. I
You
had
gotta
not
make a
gotten
video.
I have not gotten on a cardio machine. I can't even tell you the last time. You guys know we're high intensity interval training, we're body weight, we're functional training. So for me to get on a machine today, I had to ask the gym attendant, can you help me with this?
Can
I guess what it's called?
It's a pre-core, and
Okay.
I'm gonna get video. Because
I was. You gotta share that. You gotta share your experience with that machine.
Yeah. I'm going back on it. So 1995, going back, I was in high school. We were total groupies, traveled around, followed this band for like 10 years, concerts everywhere. 311 Hive
Nice.
is my song. They're my boys. I'm telling you, nicest guys ever. We followed them all around, went to all the concerts, Nation and DC, little clubs, 930 Club. They were great. So the Hive got me going on that stepper elliptical thing today.
Okay, I gotta check out that.
311. My cousin's got me in the 311. Amber's like they're like one of their popular hits too, right?
Are they from Maryland? Like that area?
No, they are from Nebraska, I believe.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly.
Ange, have you ever used the Jacob's ladder?
I freaking love the Jacob's ladder. Do not have one at the gym I'm currently at, but love the Jacob's ladder.
It's great because it's like coordination as well. So it's like you're getting that cardio.
I would rock that thing. Yes, I love the Jacob's ladder. Huge fan. But the gym I go to, I had limited things to choose from, and I saw this thing, and no one was on it, and I'm like, why isn't anyone on this? And then I got on it, and I'm like, oh, I know one's on this thing now.
Tough. I love it.
But steady state is a necessary evil for where I'm in my training right now, so I'm pretty pumped about it.
Be disciplined. All right, Prince, you got any words to lead us off with? Or not?
I knew you was gonna ask that, man.
Leave us off with.
I didn't have anything, but I always willing to give something from the top of the dome, man. And I'll say, not necessarily wise words, but just a piece of advice is to just work on character analysis and accountability. Like when you think of your character, like if you kind of like we talked about core values, like when you think of you, what are like two top or three things that you would like people would say about you? You know what I mean? Like would they say you're funny, or oh yeah, that person's very careful, or you are very kind, charismatic. You know what I mean? Think about who you are as a person and your character. What would people say about you when people think of you? What do they think about? If you could think of 3 words to live by, and it constantly hold yourself accountable for and analyze.
Awesome.
Very awesome. Cool. Sums it up.
All right, guys. That was a great episode. We have episode 9 coming up next. We will circle back on this next week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe. YouTube, Elevate the World. If you guys have been liking our content, please comment, subscribe, give us some feedback. We'd love to know.
Share it.
If you want to catch us on social media, catch myself on Instagram, Sky the Body, and 3 Dope Individuals. Prince.
So you can catch me on all platforms at Train Like Prince and 3 Dope Individuals with Scotty.
And Ange, where can they find you?
All right, Ange Fit. That's it.
Simple and plain.
Simple yet effective.
All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a great week, and be sure to kill it out there. Deuces.
Peace.
See you guys later.